Anyway, I think we've talked about Hinge enough. Moving on. What the heck is going on with the moon? Welcome back to What the Heck, a brand new podcast about all the things that are making me say, what is going on? What the heck is happening? And just all the things that are making me say, what the heck? There's a candle on. I was like, what is flashing over there? There's like a bomb that went off outside my apartment earlier, and it literally scared the shit out of me, and like Truffles ran running, and I don't know what it is. I got the Citizen app, which is a horrible app that's designed to just tell you how many people are getting stabbed in your neighborhood, which unfortunately is a non-zero number where I live. It was scary. Don't know what it was. Looked outside. There was a plume of smoke heading into the air. Anyway, I'm alive. We're alive. We made it to episode 2 of What the Heck, the podcast with me, your host, Matt Bellassai. There are too many news stories happening this week. I can't keep up. But I went to the gym. I did my little treadmill. I put it on an incline, and then you know what I do? I set my phone right on the thing. I fire up some Glee compilations. That's how you get the physique that I have, folks. I really would love to know what the other people like. Do you ever think about the other people that you see in life who are like, oh yeah, that's the old lady with the greyhounds? And it's like, who are you to other people? I always wonder that about me in the gym. Like, do I smell? Am I like the guy who sweats too much? He's the man with the big fat juicy ass cheeks. I almost said fat juicy asshole. You wouldn't know about that, would you? Anyway, what a week we've had. I don't know. Too many people are doing things with their heads this week that is making me pretty upset. John Travolta just unveiled a series of some of the most insane hats that have ever been worn by a human head. I'm like, what is happening with that man's life? That, I don't know, he's debuting some type of like Parisian fashion show on his bald head. But, you know, not many people are doing the work he's doing for the bald and gay guy community. And I respect that about him, because we are kindred spirits in that way. Who else? Ryan Lochte. Ryan Lochte has just got replaced by a whole other person, and we're supposed to be fine with that. That's upsetting. I don't know when that happened. Did you see Ryan Lochte? I don't want to disparage him too much, because at this point he's just a guy. He won Ryan Lochte. I mean, he won like a bunch of gold medals a while ago, and then became famous for being stupid. He literally became famous for being a big fucking idiot. Literally, he played a character on 30 Rock, just known as a hot idiot. And then he like staged a robbery in Venezuela or Chile or something. Cuba. But then he this week announced that he was going to coach, or I don't know, attend school at like a university or a high school in the South. And it was a different person. It's a fully different person. I don't know who that man is. That motherfucker back there is not real. Remember that lady from the airplane? Timothy Chalamet got a new haircut that people are going kind of feral for. So there's just a lot happening in terms of people's heads and faces that is upsetting and a lot to deal with. And like, I don't know, Iran or whatever, but
also it was in Rio, Ryan Lochte's
right
Olympics.
Live fact check. It was, in fact, Rio de Janeiro that Ryan Lochte got robbed in. But yeah, I think we should just jump right into some of my what the hecks for the week. Things that are making me say what the heck. First, what the heck are people doing climbing Mount Everest? Get down. Get down. There's no reason to be up there. You're not impressed. I'm not impressed. Guess what? I saw a picture of it. I did exactly what you did, essentially. I can understand 50, 100 years ago, before photos existed, that you used, I need to go to the top of Mount Everest because I'll never know what it looks like. I know what it looks like. I've been on an airplane. it is crazy. I was looking it up because Mount Everest, the tip of Mount Everest, and they're measuring from the balls, is like 29,000 feet. It's literally, you're up as high as an airplane flies, 30,000 feet. Apparently this week they it was in the news because they set like a new record for the number of people who summited Mount Everest in a single day. It was like 291 people, I think, who summited it in a single day. And the thing that I was shocked by is that people pay. You have to purchase a permit in order to climb Mount Everest, and it's like the Nepalese government that charges for it, and they raise the fee, and it's $15,000 to get a permit. And it's like I guess they just raised the amount because there was like too many people trying to climb it, and I'm like, what does that even mean? What does that mean? It's a mountain. How are you charging to climb a mountain? But also, why are you paying to climb a mountain? Why are you paying $15,000 to do something that like you have to walk past the corpses of the people who have tried this before you? It's like there's over 100, if I'm not mistaken, currently corpses on Mount Everest because it's like not safe to go and get their bodies. And so you have to like walk past the corpses of Mount Everest on your way to the top. Maybe that's motivating. I don't know. Maybe you're like, I'm doing this for you, so you couldn't. That's how I feel every time I do one of those restaurant challenges. They have to win a t-shirt. I look at all of the corpses of the people who have failed before me. They should show that, actually. Instead of the people who did do the challenge, show me the shameful faces of all the people who have failed to eat the 2 large pizzas in under 20 minutes. I want to see that. And then I can look at them and say, I'm better than this filth. I'm going to do this and win that t-shirt. There was a pizza restaurant near where I grew up that we used to get a disputed pronunciation of their name. The restaurant was spelled Nonna''S. I would call it Nana's. Because why the fuck is that second N there if it's Nona's? You dumbasses. I guess that's how Italians pronounce it, though.
Nonna.
Right. Nonna. Oh, fuck me. I literally just kind of talked to myself into realizing why people said Nona's. Fuck. But anyway, they used to have a challenge. It was kind of like really thick crust pizza. It wasn't deep dish. It wasn't Chicago deep dish, but it was like a really bready pizza. And they would cut like an extra large pizza into 4 squares. And that was like every piece was basically a quarter of a pizza. And if you finish 2 slices, so essentially like half of an entire pizza, you got like a t-shirt and your face on the wall. And they were like huge. Because the first time you see a challenge like that, you're like, okay, I'm going to walk in, we're going to clean up, we're going to take our prize, and we're going to walk out of there. And then you take a few mouthfuls of essentially just straight up gluten. And it's tough. It's a tough battle. But I feel like if I had seen the faces of the people who had died before me, I would have succeeded. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think the corpses are like lining the trail.
Sure, no. I think part of the reason why the corpses are not visible, I guess, or not easily accessible, is in fact because they're like buried beneath the snow. I don't think that you're just kind of like looking at a Mount Rushmore of corpses as you make your way to the top. But there was one photo in this one article that I was reading that shows you. We'll put the photo on the TV of the people. It was like in 2019, I think, was the last time that like this many people summited Mount Everest in one day, and it was it's like a line. You're waiting in line to get to the top because so many people are on it at the same time. Get down from there. We're not supposed to be up there. Don't make unnecessary journeys. Do you remember that video? Don't drive on treacherous roads. Oh, I love that lady. I need to be her for Halloween. Next, I've been seeing a lot of sandwiches lately that are not sitting right with me, construction wise. I don't think you understand. You can't just slap whatever you want in between two pieces of bread and call it a sandwich and think I'm just going to be happy with that. No. Okay, sandwich is a very beautiful series of events that have to come together in harmony in order to work as a sandwich. Nothing pisses me off more, I'll tell you this right now, than a sandwich made on a crusty baguette. You could get the fuck out of here. You expect me to be chomping into that? I literally shards of bread ripping apart the inside of my mouth in an attempt to get just a single bite. Okay. Don't like that. Because what is happening in a baguette sandwich is like so unwieldy and like there's so much happening texturally, the amount of stuff that you can put inside of the baguette sandwich is basically nothing. And so what's the fucking point? I guess you're just eating a baguette, which is good. I'm upset. I get upset about the fact that, like, if you want me to eat a baguette, give me a baguette. I'll fucking eat a baguette. But if you want me to eat a sandwich, don't put it on a baguette and expect me to be happy. I'm going to be upset about the fact that it is literally impossible to eat. If a sandwich is too big for me to literally or that I have to unhinge my jaw in order to take a single bite of it, I'm out. The stuff that they're doing at Pret-a-Manger is, I don't like there's something about Pret-a-Manger that gives me aka Pret, as some people call it, which is like so strange. It's like a French sounding restaurant, but it's like huge in the UK. It is like a British restaurant, and it's like, what? You're selling me a lie already. There's something about the energy inside of a Pret that is so repelling. It's like a supermarket masquerading as a fast food restaurant. Mm-hmm. And it's pissing me off what they're doing in that restaurant. Pret-a-Manger. They have a number of sandwiches at Pret that are on a baguette, and they cost $18 for some reason. And it's got like 2 slices of burrata on a single arugula leaf. And you're charging me that much to basically stab myself in the tongue with the sharpest bread I've ever eaten. And I'm sick of it. I'm seeing so many sandwiches that are so difficult to eat, all in the name of like, look at this beautiful sandwich that I put together. No, it's not all about looking good. It's about tasting good. And some sandwiches are all about the looks. Okay, we cannot be shallow about our sandwiches. Give me a fat sloppy Joe. Give me a disgusting fat sloppy Joe. Okay.
I just don't know if I agree with that, but
although I do get pissed off. I get pissed off at the this is going to be almost sacrilegious to say, and I don't know if I'll be allowed back in Chicago after I utter it, but we were talking, producer Barry and I, about beef sandwiches in Chicago that are they're basically soup. Yeah. And it's not only stopped being a sandwich, it's stopped being a solid food altogether and has entered liquid territory. I've seen videos this week. I'm just getting videos of sandwiches a lot. That's why this is on my mind. I've been seeing videos where they take the entire beef sandwich before they serve it to the customer and dip it in au jus and then slap it into foil so that when you're opening it, a gushing wet tidal wave of au jus hits you in the mouth. And it's like, that's not even a sandwich anymore. Stop calling it a sandwich. A beef sandwich is kind of one of those things also that's like, why is it in hot dog shape? Why is beef sandwich cut this way instead of that way?
Right. Because it's so wet.
But it's like, it's still dripping out the bottom.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And half of the time, the bread that they're putting it on, shit, gross, disgusting. I want to barf. They're putting too much on sandwiches these days. They're putting way too much on sandwiches. A club sandwich? You greedy, gluttonous bitch. This is the kind of sin that they talked about in the Bible, okay? This is what they use. This is the type of gluttony they used to throw people in volcanoes over. I'm sick of people. There's just a meaningless piece of bread in the middle of this already complete sandwich. Get out of here. I fucking hate a club sandwich with my entire life. What else sandwich wise? This is just the sandwiches episode. I think ice cream sandwiches are playing too crazy with their construction now. I'm not opposed to an ice cream sandwich. Let me be very clear about that. But I do not like when an ice cream sandwich is being made with two of the hardest cookies that you've ever seen in your life. You cannot give me a boulder of cookie with ice cream in between it and expect me to be happy that, look at this innovative ice cream sandwich that's using a different material of construction. You're pissing me off. And don't even get me started when a package is like, just leave it on the counter for 10 minutes before you eat it. Now you're putting the onus on me. You're making me do the labor of enjoyment for this ice cream sandwich. You're making me do the labor of waiting. It should come in the package pre-waited for. There was that sandwich. We got ice cream sandwiches on the way to Italy, wasn't it? We were in Italy recently for our friend Erica's wedding.
Yay.
And we flew JetBlue, and it's like, even if you're in like chattel class, they'll give you like treats and stuff. They treat you respectfully when you're flying overseas. And as part of the dessert, it was little ice cream sandwiches. Oh, that was when we went to London.
It was for London, yeah, for the Harry Styles show.
But JetBlue gives out, as part of their meal service, these little ice cream sandwiches, and it's that fancy brand of ice cream sandwiches that like is nice. It is like a soft cookie, nice. It's that one that comes like really square, but it's kind of like it doesn't. The brand doesn't matter because unless they're gonna send me, if you know who you are, brand. Send me a free package of ice cream sandwiches. But where was I going with that? Oh, the fact that they tell you on the package when they're giving it to you on JetBlue and it says, wait 10 minutes before you enjoy this for optimal enjoyment. Are you fucking kidding me? You want me to wait 10 minutes when I'm on an airplane? I have it sitting in front of me. I can't just set it on the counter and walk away and forget about it. I have to look at it for 10 minutes and wait. That's despicable. I nearly broke a tooth because I refused to wait. I was like, I'm chomping right in. Did I have a gummy before that flight? Yes. When I tell you, that's the first time actually that I've ever had a gummy before getting on a flight. We were playing Mario Kart on the Nintendo Switch while we were on the flight. And it's like, you feel like you're playing Mario Kart. I was like... I've never had more fun during turbulence than playing Mario Kart on a gummy on an airplane. Highly recommend it. And then when they were like, we have ice cream sandwiches coming out, I was at full mast.
I did just look up, and in fact, on JetBlue, a woman did sue them for suffering injury from dangerously cold ice cream sandwich. She literally fractured her tooth and sued JetBlue.
Okay, well, why are their sandwiches still hard as fuck?
I don't know.
Did they settle?
Maybe.
I mean, or that's probably why the way that they get around all of those bullshit lawsuits is they just add a little disclaimer on it that's like,
it's probably why it said it. Yeah.
Wait 10 minutes. Yeah. Congratulations, lady. All you got for us was a line of text on the packaging, and I'm still fucking pissed off. No, it's not her fault. That's one important thing, actually, that I want to get into. It takes a darkly serious turn. I do feel like I've gotten much better about complaining about other people at the airport and on airplanes. Hear me out, okay? Because I used to be someone famously who was like, fuck everybody in this airport. You all belong in hell. I'm the only person alive. I'm like, apparently this is everybody else's first day on earth, and like none of you deserve to live. That's how I used to be at the airport. And then I was like, I mean, there are all of these debates about like people on airplanes, whether you should recline, is it like disrespectful? And it's like, maybe we should be getting mad at the airline executives who are cramming seats onto an airplane just so they can make $10 more on every flight. It's like, that's why, like, the entire airplane experience is miserable, not just because of other people, but because like the greedy executives are making it miserable for everybody. It's like, no wonder everybody's pissed off. Thank you. That's all I want is a sort of poetry reading snaps in between every point that I make. Next. Little kids who want to pet my dog, get the fuck out of my face. I'm not sharing her with you. She's not yours to touch. Just because you see a dog in public, if you're a little kid and you see my dog in public, stay the fuck back. I have mace and I'll use it on an 8-year-old if I have to. It's gotten nicer outside. We're starting to go for longer walks. Also, Truffles, executive producer Truffles, who's probably hiding under the couch at the moment. She is on week 3 of Prozac. So, because she's afraid of going outside, much like her father. And so she's on Prozac. We're starting to go on longer walks. It's getting nicer outside, which means a number of children feel like they can run up on my dog and give her pats. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. I don't know if you've had all of your shots. She has. I'm not playing around with you giving her the plague because your grubby little sticky little fingers are getting all over my dog. It made me think of it because I walked past this girl the other day and it was like a little girl whining to her mom, being like, can I pet the dog? Can I pet the dog? I'm like, first of all, bitch, look at me. Don't ask your fucking mother. Ask the man who owns this dog that you're trying to pet. Why is she asking her mom if she can pet my dog? She can say yes all she wants. The answer is going to be no coming from me. Why? Because Truffles is a fucking bitch. That is ultimately the thing that I want to complain about is that it really is embarrassing when people ask if their dogs can say hello to your dog and you have to be like, sorry, my dog's a fucking bitch. And she'll fucking attack your dog. I had to stop myself from literally saying that before because I realized it was a child. I was like, all right, I can't say that she's a bitch in front of this little child. I'm not around children like hardly ever. And so when I am around a child, I forget how to behave. I don't know what I'm allowed and not allowed to say around them. I'll say whatever. But yeah, it is embarrassing to have to be like, no, sorry, you can't say hello to my dog because she'll probably bite you. Even though she's never been anybody. I do have this sort of like, this sort of instinctual evolutionary fear that a dog will just kind of haul off and rip my face apart. I don't know. My one dog did bite me once on the lip. Frankie, the wiener dog. That probably was what made me gay.
Right.
Psychologically, I got bit by a wiener when I was a child. And that's probably when the gay entered my body. Anyway, moving on. Speaking about gay, dating app conversations are at like apocalyptic levels of over. We have never been more over in the dating app department. And look, I'm saying this from the trenches of Hinge, Tinder, Bumble, Grindr, whatever else is out there. I don't even know. If there's other dating apps, let me know. I'll try them. I don't like that I'm basically just going through the same 400 gay people who live in New York City and are my age on every single app. So I get rejected by everybody on every app now instead of just one. But I do feel like Hinge is a particular sort of minefield. The men that I'm engaging with on Hinge should be dragged in front of some type of tribunal and charged with war crimes for the kind of horrific treatment that I've been receiving. Not responding to my tags. No, I've been on Hinge. It's one of the worst places imaginable. I wouldn't send my enemies there with a knife. I like, and they're already there to begin with. So Yeah, Hinge I think it's like a great app if you're looking to meet one of the worst people you've ever met in your life. If you're looking to kind of get pissed off and to feel bad about yourself, try Hinge. I think it'll work out great for you. If you're looking for a life partner, at this point, throw yourself in front of a bus. You have a better chance of getting a hot ER doctor than you do of finding the love of your life on Hinge. Speaking of which, why is every mid-30s man in New York City, homosexual category, a doctor? I don't want to fucking marry a doctor. They're busy. They're busy. They're doing stuff to other people's bodies instead of mine. No, I should be. You should have to show me a picture if you're operating on someone else's genitals. I should be in the room. You're only allowed to do that if I'm also there. I don't like that. Yeah, no, I don't like, especially in New York City, some of the jobs that these gay men have. I don't want to say specifically gay guys because I think this applies to straight men as well. The jobs that these men have on Hinge, not real. Not real. There's no type of fact checking happening on the bio section of the dating app profiles on Hinge. There cannot be this many vice presidents at Deloitte, Palantir, and fucking what is McKinsey. There cannot be. It's the entry level position of a fucking consulting firm, vice president. It's pissing me off. It's like, of course, these are the only people who are left. Because I have sort of entered that phase of Hinge where it's like, okay, yeah, I'm in my mid-30s now. A lot of the people I'm encountering have been through an entire marriage already. And it's sort of like, now I'm just kind of getting what's left over. And sure, do I also qualify as having been left over? Yeah. But I'm a delight. No, I don't like, there's too many founders and CEOs. There cannot be this many of them. You didn't find shit. Okay. There's too many senior directors of data analysis. What the fuck is fintech? I don't know what that is. Stop saying you're a vice president of fintech. Everybody is doing, like, the second I see anybody is like, oh, the director of AI. Blech. I'll fucking kill us both. They are truly like, they're handing out the title of founder, CEO, and vice president on Hinge like a fucking frat boy hands out HPV. I'm like, I don't like it. That's not real. That's not a real position. HPV is real. Let's be clear about that. No, I have been fighting. I recently got back on Hinge after a short break. I tried to like revitalize my Hinge profile. Don't cheer. That's not a cheerful place. Would you cheer for someone who is like, drinking after having gone to rehab? No, you'd be concerned. I don't know. I don't like how every dating app these days is basically designed to get you to like give them more money, or else you won't get quality matches. You won't get to talk to people that you actually want to talk to. I do hate people who complain, and this is going to make me sound like a real chop motherfucker. But I think it is gauche when people complain that the people who like them on Hinge are like hideous. The way that Hinge operates is like, you can send anybody, it's not swiping per se. It is, you're either liking a profile or not. It's swiping by any other name. But you see every person who likes you. You receive like a notification that you have been liked on Hinge. And like so you can send likes, but you can also like look at the people who have liked you and like them back, if that makes sense. The thing that pisses me off is like when people complain about like, oh, the people who like me on Hinge, like if you want to ruin your day, look at the people who like you on Hinge. And it's like, it's not an insult to be liked by if you think about like everybody likes people who are probably as attractive as them or more attractive than them, right? Some people settle, but there's no other way to say it. Obviously, people who are less attractive than you are gonna find you attractive, right? That's like if everybody is sort of thinking of themselves, and it's like if you are going through and liking all of the people that you're attracted to, it's like obviously weeding out those people, and so the people who are liking your profile are people that you have not already. Like, it's just like, shut the fuck up. It's such like a stupid thing to complain about. And it sounds like I'm saying that because I'm like, oh, people think I'm ugly. I don't give a fuck. I'm just like, I'm not going to complain about the people who like me on Hinge. How is that not, even if I'm not like, if I don't want to date them, I'm still like flattered by the like. It's not like you should be like, oh, the worst thing that happened to me today was that an ugly person liked me on Hinge. Get the fuck out of here. You're a piece of shit if that's what you think. There was one guy on Hinge recently I was telling everybody about who basically accused me of being a big fat whore because I had one photo. We were talking and he was I was saying how like I would consider myself like a romantic. Like I like the effort and I'm not just like, hey, do you want to come over and bend me over? That's for a different app. But on Hinge, I'm like, yeah, I'm here for like dates and like I enjoy romance and effort. And he was like, well, you have a lot of underwear photos on your profile for someone who claims to be romantic. Okay. So I'm literally a dirty, filthy Mary Magdalene in your eyes. I'm basically the biggest slut that you've ever seen, I guess. Because I have one photo where I'm wearing a sweatshirt and boxer briefs. You can't even see thigh crease. You are seeing more of my thighs right now than you do in the photo that he is referring to. And also, like, yeah, it's a dating app where I'm trying to attract gay people. So let's not act like a little thigh doesn't go a long way amongst the homosexuals of New York City. Whatever, fuck that, man. It was one of the first times in my life where I consciously was like, is he like actively trying to neg me? Is this like a ploy or a strategy? It was so strange. I'm ashamed to say that I still was like trying to go on a date with this person. And then he basically kind of ghosted me. And then like I was like, my last message was like, when do you want to get a drink? And then he ghosted me for like 2 weeks, which like at that point, it's like, I know you're not interested. And then he came back and was like, thanks for the offer. I'm not interested. I was like, why would you even say that at that point? Just like, I got it. I am not in the business. And this is something that I say to myself often is like, I'm not in the business of like trying to chase someone who's not interested. Like, if you're not interested, you're not interested. I'm not going to like chase after you. That's not what I'm looking for. So, yeah, it was just like, what an odd choice to come back that later and say, no, thanks. Dude, the exact thing that he said was, thanks for the offer. I'm not feeling a romantic connection. It's like, we literally haven't met. Are you a fucking robot? It's possible.
Maybe.
I have chatted with people before where I'm like, I'm almost positive you figured out how to like plug AI into your responses, and you're having like, people do that where it's like they'll like program it so that they'll program it so that AI will sort of like handle the first several exchanges of a conversation, which is crazy. It's literally crazy. You are a fucking psychopath if you're using AI on a dating app. Which is why I do think we're moving to a point where it's like AI is reaching a point where it is becoming so integrated and ubiquitous. And let me be clear, I am prepared to be a Luddite. I am the one, I'll hold out. No, I'm not saying I'm better than you, but I am better than you. I'm not fucking with AI in any shape or form. It does feel like one of the like hopeful upsides of how ubiquitous AI is becoming is that like we're no longer going to be able to trust the like digital world, and so you have to rely more on the real world in order to just like have truthful interactions. So it sucks that I'm gonna have to like meet someone in real life. Oh, I hate that. It is true. It's like I just don't think people are meeting on dating apps anymore. Not, especially not at my grown age.
Didn't you meet your husband on?
I sure did.
Yeah, and it fucking sucks that everybody I know met their loved one, their like significant other on fucking Hinge, except for Barry, who has been with her husband since fucking college. Well, the other problem that I have is that I do feel like this is something interesting that I alone have to deal with and nobody can relate to, and that is because I am so famous on the internet. I don't like how, because everything now like has your contact list. If I like give my number to someone and then they open up TikTok in an hour, it's like, hey, do you know this faggot? Look at him. And he's being a fool on the internet. You don't know me. That now they're seeing a side of me that I wouldn't reveal until at least the third date. The dumbass stoner side. But I feel like TikTok, I feel like these apps are like snitching on me, and it's like, let them get to know me before you're showing them the filth that I do on the internet.
Are gay men not Googling?
Oh, it's upsetting. If people truly knew the like MI6 FBI style sleuthing that I do on every person that I match with. And I guess it's naive of me to assume that nobody is doing that for me. I don't know. It's just I guess I should just assume that people are sleuthing as hard as I am. Cause I'm like, guess what? We're about to go on a first date. I have read your third grade book report. I've seen every photo you've ever posted on MySpace. I know all of your aunts and uncles' names, and I'm gonna pretend like I don't. But that's the flip side of that is that I regularly hurt my own feelings because I'll go sleuthing, and then there was one time. This is just a self-inflicted wound. There was one guy that I like matched with on Tinder, and we were like setting up a date, and I found his Twitter, and it was in his Twitter likes. This is when likes were still public. I'm just gonna sound like a crazy person. In his Twitter likes, he had liked a Reductress article, and the headline was like, "Uh-oh, person you were talking to just for fun on Tinder wants to go out on a date." But the crazy thing was it got to a point where we ended up exchanging like Twitter because we were like joking about Twitter, and he unliked that tweet before he told me what his Twitter was, which meant it was like clearly about me then.
Or he didn't want you to think it was about you.
No, it was about me.
Okay.
Otherwise he would have been we would have gone on more than one date, or he was disgusted by me in person. Anyway, I think we talked about Hinge enough. Moving on. What the heck is going on with the moon? Listen, I've been kind of sleepy this week, and then I saw someone say, that they asked their barista that their barista said that they were feeling sleepy because it was a full moon, and that means your body is heavier, is way down. And I was like, listen, I don't want to make enemies with the astrology community. I seek nothing but peace with the astrology girlies. I think that there's like too much of an overlap between the astrology girlies and the like people who are or are paying Etsy witches to cast hexes. So I don't want to fuck with them. I'm approach your community with nothing but open love and arms. That being said, I think we're putting too much faith in the moon. I think some people are kind of being too in love with the moon and what it's doing to them. Because I was like, there is something about the moon that the moon in particular, because it's the one that I can see, I'm like, I can kind of fuck with you in a way that I can't fuck with the other planets. Well, the moon is not a planet, it's a star, darling. The moon is a moon. one of my favorite videos ever on the internet. What is the moon? We don't know what the moon is. Nobody knows what the moon is. Chunky. Chunky, if you can hear me, look up the moon. But it's like the moon is the one I can see. I don't see the planets, so I don't know about them. And don't say, oh no, sometimes you can see fucking Jupiter. I don't know, you can't. You not unless you have like bionic eyes and a fucking telescope, which I don't have. But the moon is the one that I'm like, yeah, sure. I can like sort of understand how like literally the entire ocean is controlled by the moon. That like, okay, maybe your body, which is made up of how much percent of water? Like 105% water. I can see how it's like, yeah, your body might be affected by the moon. Here's my question. Are the tides affected by how full the moon is? My theory is no, because the phases of the moon have nothing to do with how big the moon actually is or how close the moon is to Earth. It's just based on how much light the sun is casting on the moon. I can't think about the moon too much. I can't think about it. It was one of the biggest fights that Barry and I got into one time.
Really
Because I was like, I don't understand how. Basically, what I was trying to say was, I don't understand how there's not a full eclipse every single day, and I kind of forgot that like the moon, the sun, and Earth aren't just in a straight line all the time. I kind of forgot because I was like, okay, the moon is going around Earth, and the sun is over there, and it's like, how come the moon is not casting a shadow on the Earth literally every day, right? So you can see where I'm going. I did not explain it like that when we were having this argument. And so she had no idea what I was saying. I had no idea what she was saying. Then I was like, right, it's not always in a straight line. The sun can be here, moon could be here in a straight line, but then moon could be down here. I didn't say that right, but you got it.
NASA says that the moon does, the cycle does change the tides.
Fuck me in my butthole. Okay, so apparently NASA says that the fullness of the moon does in fact affect the tides, which means theoretically it could in fact affect how sleepy I am, and definitely not my untreated sleep apnea. So I'm glad that we kind of talked that out. The only way that I can explain it without having the facts is that I'm guessing that the phases of the moon are just related to the movement of the moon. Let me move on. I don't give a shit anymore. I don't give a shit. It makes sense to me, and that's all that matters. Moving on. They're treating the search for the next James Bond like they're fucking searching for the Dalai Lama. What are we doing with James Bond? I don't understand why we've been hearing about the next James Bond for like half of my lifetime. It was like I can truly like plot my life in terms of James Bond. When I was a kid, Pierce Brosnan, James Bond. I used to play his square-looking face in the James Bond shooting game. Golden Finger? No, Golden Finger was the Austin Powers one. Golden Eye. Goldfinger was Austin Powers. Golden Eye was James Bond for real. I used to play, just look it up. I used to play the James Bond Nintendo 64 game. But yeah, as Pierce Brosnan from Mrs. Doubtfire.
Just quick fact check: Goldfinger is the actual James Bond.
Then who is Goldmember?
Goldmember is Austin Powers.
What is GoldenEye?
GoldenEye is also a James Bond.
See, nobody ever believes me. I'm one of the most persecuted people ever to live. They're coming for me. They're coming for my culture. Did you see that video of Donald Trump he's sitting behind in the Oval Office, and there's a guy standing next to him who has one of the biggest belly buttons ever.
No.
And the whole video, it's like, oh my god, like, is something wrong with it? It's like there's an innie, there's an Audi, and then there's whatever the fuck that guy had. I don't even know the context of the meeting. It might have been like people with like belly button cancer meeting, and I'm just making fun of him. But it is one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. We need to play a clip from it. But anyway, back to James Bond. They are talking about the new James Bond. We've been hearing about it our entire lives, my entire life, because it was Pierce Brosnan. Then when I hit puberty, this was huge for me. Daniel Craig, James Bond, of course, who was kind of one of the hottest James Bonds at the time. Now they're in the search for the next James Bond. We've been hearing about it for, 25 years. And literally for as long as some of the people in contention have been alive. But yeah, I guess they've started officially auditioning for it in the last month, which is why we're getting more official news about it. It was kind of just rumors for a long time. It was Idris Elba. I think he's kind of aged out of it now. It's been going on for so long. But it was Idris Elba for a while. People were talking about. Now, apparently the leading contenders, Callum Turner, otherwise known as Dua Lipa's side piece, not main piece. I do like him. I don't really know much about him other than he's Dua Lipa's suck buddy. Okay. What's another way to put it?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to put it.
He's Dua Lipa's lovely boyfriend / husband / fiance. I don't know what their deal is. One of the hottest couples alive, and it's actually pissing me off. I do think Dua Lipa has the life of a person who you can't help but to be jealous of. It just seems like she has the perfect life. Literally always on vacation, hottest boyfriend ever, and is just posting books on the beach all the time. Love that for her. But yeah, Jacob Elordi. Okay. Jacob Elordi is so fuckable that you're how could you blend in as James Bond?
Exactly.
Oh, that's James Bond's whole thing, isn't it? It's his whole thing is kind of yeah, people start creaming themselves every time they see me. Anyway, next. Why the heck are we bringing back Froyo? People are waiting in line for Froyo like it's 2013. And when you've lived through something and then you see it coming back, it can be so scary. Because you thought this is probably what they felt like when World War II started. They were like, oh, fuck, now we got to start numbering them. This is exactly like that. Now Froyo 2 is back, just like World War II, and the fucking 16 handles, the Hitler of Froyo, is invading Poland.
Oh my God.
I thought we ended that. I thought we were past that. I thought everybody nutted up and got a big fat bowl of ice cream. Froyo was part of eating disorder culture in the 2012s. It was people managed to eat Froyo because they were convincing themselves it was healthier. It's not, by the way. It's the same thing, but with bacteria in it. I do think it has a lot to do with the fact that Froyo, a bowl of Froyo is just more photogenic than a bowl of ice cream. Because people aren't getting bowls of ice cream. You're getting cones of ice cream, usually. Oh, we have to go get ice cream.
Yeah.
People are getting bowls of Froyo that you can add all of these toppings to, and it's got that beautiful dollop on the top, and it's yeah, let's take a picture of this, and that's kind of back in a big way. It's just, but also it's we've done that already. Froyo is not cyclical. We need to kill it. We need to kill it and have it be dead. I don't like it. Oh, you know what makes me the most sad that I've ever been about anything ever?
What?
Is that I left that tiramisu semi-freddo that I bought in the mini fridge at the hotel in Italy.
That was really sad.
We went to a gelato place in Italy. I got a gelato in a cone. First of all, they were speaking Italian in Italy in a way that I was unprepared for, which is to say Italian and not English. Because I was sort of yeah, everybody in Europe sort of knows English, at least conversationally. I'll be fine. I don't need to learn too much. Yeah. In Varese, where we were, they were speaking some hardcore Italian. And not only that, I tried to speak English. They looked at me like they were about to stab me in the face. Deservedly so. It is such like a reality check. Not that I thought otherwise. Let me be clear. I always knew, it is difficult to be a foreigner in another country. But it's like you really learn when you are in the minority. This is too baldly me being like, wow, I understand minorities now. But it is like it truly is hard to fathom until you experience it. That it's like you do just feel like a fucking idiot when you can't speak the language, and it's like people are looking at you like you're dumb, and you're like, no, I'm smart. I just don't know what the word for electric converter is. I went and I did a full like sign language, so like pictogram. What is that game? Charades. I did a full game of charades with the woman at a shop because I forgot my converter that I had, so I had to buy a converter. And I would have thought surely one of the few words that should cross languages is converter. I was very wrong. We went through almost every charger that she had in stock before we landed on converter. Anyway, I was at the gelato shop. We were trying to communicate in Italian, in what limited kindergarten Italian that I had. And finally, the person who spoke English just came out and was like, what do you want? We got gelato, but then I got a tiramisu in a little cup. I didn't realize it was like tiramisu semi-freddo, which semi-freddo I think is basically just like ice cream. It's just like, it literally stands for semi-frozen. It's just like it's like a frozen treat. They were the most concerned that I've ever seen that I was about to either eat that right away or refrigerate it in the next 30 minutes. Because we got cones of gelato and then also this, and they were like, wait a minute. You're taking this to go? This frozen item? Are you going to have access to a refrigerator? They were concerned. They convened about it behind the counter to be like, what do we tell? How do we communicate that they have to eat this right away? And I was like, don't you worry. I'm going to eat it. Listener, I put that thing in the hotel refrigerator every night. I got back to the room. I thought about it and I did not eat it. And then I was at the airport coming home and I realized, like fucking the mom from Home Alone, that I'd left my beautiful son in the hotel fridge. And I think about him every day. I wonder who ate him. I wonder if he found a loving family. I wonder if they threw him away like a piece of disgusting trash. Probably. It makes me sick to my stomach what they did to him. This I don't know if I want to say on camera.
Okay.
That I found out the guy who tried to shoot Donald Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner apparently quote tweeted me. So yeah, I have a Google alert set for my name. I have a Google alert set for my name. I got a Google alert for like a Daily Mirror article or Daily Mail article that was like Twitter account of White House Correspondents' Dinner shooter uncovered. And it listed like all I guess all this account was doing was like retweeting, like quote tweeting tweets, but it was like tweets from AOC, from like Bernie Sanders, and then one of them was mine. It was like 4 or 5 tweets that were referenced. One of them was mine. And it was a tweet that I wrote like the day before the 2024 election. Was like so fun that in 24 hours we're either going to have the first woman president or like literally the end of America. Guess what we got? Did I ever know when I wrote that tweet that it would appear on the Twitter page of someone who would go on to kind of like attempt political violence? No, but that's sort of the rich tapestry of digital modern life. And I think that that's kind of beautiful. To be clear, I'm not condoning political violence, but Whoops. What else? Do you know they're trying to make another ice bucket challenge happen?
No.
And I'm like dangerously close to participating.
No.
They are trying to do, I think it's for the American Women's Heart Association. And they're having men smash watermelons with their thighs for the American Heart Association. And I'm like, fuck, that is a challenge kind of specifically aimed at me. And like, let's be clear, if the trend continues, I'll partake.
Once our Patreon is up and running.
It's going to be nothing but me squeezing watermelons. There's going to be a Patreon tier that's just me squeezing various fruits with my thighs. It's just going to be OnlyFans sort of light. But yeah, no, I'm like, I can't tell because sometimes you see a trend and it's like, is this actually a trend? Is this just three people? The amount that people will claim that something is like a trend or is viral now, they're slapping that label on everything. And finally, we got my what the hey of the week, because every week I'm going to end the episode on the thing that is my opposite of what the heck, the thing that's making me happy, my what the hey, if you will. And this week, there was one story that I saw a bunch of on the internet that was making me happy. Well, first it was pissing me off. And that's how all good things come about, is that they start by pissing you off. And then the longer you stick around, you're like, wait a minute, something good is happening here. And it was, this is going to get earnest for a second. Sorry. There was this school district in Wisconsin. Do you know where this is going? There's this school district in Wisconsin that was planning like an end of the year orchestra performance or band. So we're not calling it. I was in a high school orchestra. No, you weren't. You were in band. But yeah, it was like this high school band in this school in Wisconsin was planning their like end of the year like showcase or whatever. And one of the songs that they were preparing was a song composed by like a queer composer for Marsha P. Johnson. It's called like Mother of a Revolution or something. And Marsha P. Johnson, for the unawares, like one of the faces, if not the face of like Stonewall and the onset of like the gay rights movement and the LGBT movement and then especially trans rights. So anyway, it's an orchestra piece, an instrumental orchestra that they had been preparing the entire year. And the school board at this fuck-ass Wisconsin town was like, we don't do this indoctrination shit, and you're not allowed to perform this song. And it's like, are you kidding me? It's not only are there no lyrics, it is just music, but it's just like, it was composed about someone. So not that excuses it. Like even if there were words, I think it's a ridiculous, like fascist thing to be like, we can't have our children acknowledging trans people that existed in like the 1960s. But there were these clips that like some of the local news outlets in this town were covering it and covering the school board meeting. And it was like, just, of course, these like 85-year-old cretins on the school board who are making decisions about like what the children in these schools can do and not do. And they ended up like banning the kids were like not allowed to perform this song. The funniest part was the news was like interviewing some of the students. And it was like, the good thing was that so many of the students were like rallying behind the band. And that's hard to do. It's hard to get people on board with their high school band children.
Mm-hmm.
They interviewed one of the like one of the people on the football team. And he like clearly has never talked about the band before. And he was like, we're just here to support the band team. Want to do everything we can to support the band team, like as clearly just never has no conception of what band actually is. But yeah, anyway, so this like disgusting school board ended up banning this thing, but then like the community kind of like rallied behind them, and they're holding like a concert for them to perform it at, like for the community. The composer of the song is flying in to Wisconsin to perform it. I know. I was like, it was one of the videos that came up on the treadmill, and I was like, I'm gonna start literally crying on the treadmill in between Glee compilations. But I was like, yeah, it's one of those things that like had it never happened, it wouldn't have gotten the like attention that it's gotten and brought people to it, which I think is sort of ironically beautiful. But also like, fuck that school board, good for that band, good for that football kid who was supporting the band team. And yeah, we could play a little clip of the band performance. Good for them. And that's it. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next week. Bye. This has been an episode of What the Heck with Matt Bellassai. You can call and leave us a voicemail about what's making you say what the heck this week, and you might be featured on a future episode. Call us at 407-984-6288. That's 407-WTH-MATT. What the Heck with Matt Bellassai is produced by Same Boat Studios and Bellassai Productions. It's hosted by me, Matt Bellassai. Our executive producers are Gabrielle Lewis, Barry Finkel, and me, Matt Bellassai. Erica Glass is our senior producer. Our video editors are Matt Bellassai and Erica Glass. Production designed by Erica Glass, Matt Bellassai, and Barry Finkel. Our theme music is courtesy of epidemicsound.com. Special thanks to Truffles Bellassai.